obviously today it was announced that Kurai completed his move to Crystal Palace. Obviously, how is that for you, for the academy, for the club?
It's fantastic news. Obviously they've just released it today, but he's been there since March, pretty much. I think it's a great testament, really. Look, when you look at Kurai's sort of pathway in his career so far, his journey's been incredible. He was a grassroots player, never been in an academy of any sorts, always been on the periphery. I think he had a few trials when he was a little bit younger. And he's come in here, and I think it shows that he's listened on the whole, and he's worked extremely hard. He's gone down the path of, we loaned him out to Leverstock Green in his first year here with us, where he played about 20 odd games, got Young Player of the Season, and he filled in a few times for us as well in his first year here. I think he played 4 or 5 games in his first year here. And we had a sort of it's one of them, his pathway, where was he going to be in his second year here with us? I remember sort of taking the decision of not signing a left back and giving him the opportunity in last pre-season, to see exactly where he was, and got 7 games to try and get him up to a speed where we thought that we could get him to be trusted, to go and play and keep the shirt, sort of thing. And testament to him, he did really well. There's some really good lessons in there, I'm sure, for him. But he hit the ground running, and he was our best player last year by far. And obviously that subsequently attracted a lot of attention. It wasn't just Crystal Palace that were interested in him. There's a lot of Football League clubs and Premier League clubs in, and he went into Everton as well. And Crystal Palace decided to sign him in the summer, so it's a great news story for the club. Been a record transfer fee for us as well to receive, I think, in the club's history for a player. So from that point of view, it's a positive news story all round, really. Because look, every single club up and down the country, unless you're Real Madrid in Spain, is a feeder club for a higher level. And unfortunately, we're no different. But this level is a Premier League level, which is the top level. So to have a player go from Hertford Town to a Premier League club straight to there, going to other clubs on the way, has been incredible. So unbelievable, great story, and I'm really pleased for him because he deserves a chance, and now it's down to him to go and make the most of it. Because being a professional footballer is one thing, staying there and playing and earning new contracts and playing in the first team is where your bread and butter is, really. So he's got a lot to do still, but fantastic news story.
So following on from the announcement, do you have any advice for any of the young players at the club in the academy at the moment?
Just advice for young players in general, really, is that if you want to be a professional footballer, it can happen, obviously, and even against the backdrop of not being in a professional environment before, or professional football club, it can happen. You've got to have belief, you've got to have sacrifice, you've got to listen an awful lot, and you've got to work so hard. And when you get opportunity, you've got to take them ultimately. And if you do those things, and you've got that relentless sort of appetite to get better every day, and then you can get there. The odds are really small still, so there's no big dream factory where you're just pumping out stuff and telling them that's definitely going to happen. But at the same time, our record actually in the last 3 or 4 years has been really good where players have gone. I was talking to we had James Collins who played for us in the summer. Obviously, he went to Watford. Max Hudson was at Ipswich. Ali is now Ali Muhaddin is at Chesterfield. So in the last 3 or 4 years, there's 4 players that have come out and gone into Football League clubs and Premier League clubs. So incredible. So it can happen, and I think more and more people are watching non-league football now because they want to see younger players playing men's football, seeing how they cope with it, and obviously in a certain way as well of how they play and how they handle themselves.